the Writing Community Chat Show Advent Christmas Calendar.
Have you ever done anything similar, or have you ever traveled for experience? Is there any good stories there you have?
I travel all the time for experience, and I've had wonderful times. I've been to Machu Picchu in Peru to write a book called Evil Star, one of my kids' books. I climbed a crane outside outside Parliament, outside the House of Commons to experience what it was like to operate a crane.
Wow.
I've been all over the world, really. I'm doing it, and in terms of I've been held up at gunpoint on the borders of a country at one stage, and I've got myself into trouble. My wife, when we first got married, for our honeymoon, I took her to the Forbidden City in Hong Kong, one of the most dangerous places on the entire planet. All it was criminals. This is how her married life with me began. I think I'd learned Chinese, or for Please Don't Kill Me, I'm a writer, a children's writer, as I was then, and off we traipsed together. I love traveling for writing. It's it's the experiences you have bleed into the book so well, and I think it's still preferable to using Google Earth or just the internet generally to try and get a sense of a place. Google Earth doesn't give you the smell. It doesn't get your hands dirty. It doesn't put you in danger. And I always say that an element of danger in a writer's life is necessary. After all, we are sitting behind desks for so long. Get out there and do things. See the world. And it was always an excuse also to travel, because I'm not great about going on holiday. I don't like sitting on a beach and looking at the waves and such. I like to go out there and use what I see as material for books.
Some incredible stories, I can imagine. Going up in a crane to get that kind of feelings and emotion to put in a book is amazing. And there's a lot of people, as you rightly said, will sit behind the computer and use the internet for research. Is something I've done. So what advice would you give for someone who hasn't gone traveling? Would you suggest
I'm aware that not everybody has the money to go out to to Machu Picchu or something. And incidentally, I didn't have any money then either. I was more or less hitchhiking my way around the world and traveling as cheaply as I could. But the thing about, you mentioned the crane incidentally. When you sit in the cabin of a crane, quite apart from getting the feel of the controls, they let me pull the hook up and down. You don't know, but things like a crane's are moving all the time. It's quite interesting, but they sway. This isn't a piece of information that I actually used, but crane operators carry an empty bottle up to the top of a crane, 250 steps up and 350 steps down again. You can imagine why they need it. And little tiny irrelevant details and sensations, feelings, that swaying, that the view, the stomach turning quality of climbing all those steps without any sort of rig, that if you let go, you're dead. So that sort of experience is valuable to get, and it's difficult if you are starting out as a writer and such. But I still think that getting outdoors and away from the desk in any way you can is vital, because you'll go mad if you sit in a room too long. I mean, I do. I have my dog, thank goodness. Just going out for a walk every day with my dog over Richmond Park now. It's, first of all, it's good for me exercise-wise. It gets my heart beating. It inspires me. It's when I can turn over the ideas I've got in my head. And so the advice is not to travel far away or do dangerous, silly things, but to just get away from your desk and get out.
It's definitely one of the things we've highlighted on this show. Going out for a walk, especially if there's a bit of a struggling patch when it comes to writing or inspiration, can spark that creativity. And as you mentioned there, going out with a dog gives you time to process those ideas.
Well,
so
I've been married 6 months. Not even married. I've been going out with my wife. We moved in together for 6 months. And I'll never forget, she came into the house one day, the flat, carrying a golden Labrador puppy, and put it down on the desk and said, "This is the only piece of exercise equipment you can't ignore." And She was absolutely right, because that meant that every single day after that, I had to go out with this dog. And it is a wonderfully good, it's a funny thing. People don't realize that if you're in an office and you work 7 hours in an office, you've actually probably wasted 4 of them. Because you meet people, you meet at the coffee machine, you have chats. If you have a meeting, the meeting starts with everybody talking about what the meeting is going to be about. And actually, if you compress down the amount of work done in a sort of a white collar office in the course of a day, and I'm not talking here about the emergency stuff or whatever, but in when I was in advertising, we wasted half a day. When you're on your own, 7 hours is an awful lot of minutes, and I actually work 10 hours, so that's even more. And to fill them productively without, you know, just killing time on Twitter or whatever, or eating copious amounts of chocolate biscuits and endless cups of coffee and tea. It's sort of it's just vital to get out.
Yeah, that sounds like my life. Twitter, coffee, and biscuits. Brilliant.